Good morning. It's Thursday, September 14th. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute. I'm Sade Campbell, the Enrollment Communications Manager here at Houston Community College. Pleased to be joined by my co-host, Dr. Lana Pigal, who's HCC Northwest's Director of Communications. Good morning, Lana.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. It seems like the clouds are teasing us. It may release today. They've been playing peekaboo.
Well, we had some thunderstorms over my house last night, so scared the dogs more than anything.
I hear you. And listen, let me just say, this is my first time seeing you. Are hair goals today. Look at the tresses.
You're too funny.
Well, let me tell people. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me tell everybody how to find us. We're live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and YouTube. We're also on X, formerly known as Twitter. We're on LinkedIn and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Lana, if you had to be formally known as something, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, probably Dr. Guru or something like that. I don't know. I always said that when I got my doctorate, I would make my kids call me Dr. Mom.
Oh my goodness. As they should. Should. If I ever get a doctorate, I will have obnoxious level of requests because you're going to put some respect on the amount of hours that went into that, okay?
Absolutely.
Well, today for Thursday Family Fun Day on the show, we'll find out how you can channel your inner paleontologist and sift through the red Permian soul of a nearby dig site. Joining us to talk about that today is Drayton Dupree, who's the operations manager for Houston Museum of Natural Science in Sugar Land. Good morning, Drayton.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Happy to hear you and Lana have a good conversation in just a second. But first, we're continuing our recognition of September as Workforce Development Month and discussing some special kudos with the next guest. Joining us is Kris Asper, Dean of Architectural Design and Construction, our Architectural Design and Construction Center of Excellence. Welcome back to the show, Kris.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Yes, I show up once a week. I should get welcome too. There we go. And congratulations are in order. You deserve major kudos for one of your programs receiving initial accreditation from the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. So this is years in the making with more years to come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are very proud of it. It took us more than 2 years working on it, battling several people from different universities. They came down here. They reside with us for 5 days. They look at every single things in the program, and they give us some things to do. And they show up here last October 2022. And within this, since October, we've been working very diligently to achieve all their requirements. And finally, we did. And they agree on giving us the credentials to be ABET certified, and this is great for the program because not too many universities or college here they are ABET certified, and we are the only college in Greater Houston area certified by ABET.
Oh, okay. So that's the part I wanted to hear because listen, we like to lead out here at HCC. So the computer aided drafting program, this accreditation will go until 2026 and certainly for more years to come. And happy to hear that we are leading in Houston for that. And, I think this is what's, so interesting, right? People will notice when you are unaccredited, but few people know what it takes to get that accreditation. So this is important for the students.
Yeah, definitely. We have articulation with several universities. The biggest one is TSU, and even TSU themselves, they are not able to accredit it. We become accredited before TSU they are to become accredited. So this tells you something about the program, about the faculty, about the staff, and about the curriculum. It's one of the best in the country.
And for those who may not be familiar with what is possible with a computer-aided drafting degree, tell us in like one or two sentences, if a student had never heard of this pathway, what does this allow students to do?
Okay, we are dealing with emerging technology. Technology change every day. Usually, we study it very carefully, and we find out that the digital age half time, it's about 3 years. So when there is a technology in the market, you can use it no more than 6 years and become obsolete. So we decided we need really to fulfill this requirement to make sure that we have enough qualified technician to go fill the workforce area in Houston. And Houston is huge when it comes to engineering and technicians, because almost everybody in the town, they work either with petrochemical or with healthcare. All those use the technology that drafting engineering produce, because you cannot make nothing without making documentation. Drafting is nothing but documentation. It's digital documentation. In order for your product to become legally available to the public, you have to get some documentation from the court, from the city. And this documentation is a drawing. They have to look at the drawing. They find this drawing is workable. It's not dangerous. There is nobody file a patent on it. If all this pass, then you can go ahead and produce this. And that's what we train our student to do. We train them to go for the petrochemical, to work there. And Houston filled with those companies. Almost all those big companies are here, from Shell to Exxon to Halliburton to KBR, all those, their headquarters here in Houston. So you see the demand. In addition to that, we have the medical center. A lot of those medical equipment are electronics, electrical. We deal with a smart building, how we make your building efficient, use less energy. Look at Houston. I mean, Houston is amazing. We have big downtown, we have the Woodland, we have the Galleria, we have the medical center. All those have buildings. And if you think about how much energy it takes to run those buildings, it's amazing, huge. So it comes to us how we make those buildings more efficient, how we make them EPA, apply EPA regulations, and all this change by the days, by the month. So we train our student to work with all those emerging. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and Kris, I'm something that people may not realize is just how much intentionality is going into making sure that our curriculum is meeting the market demand, and just how quickly curriculum becomes obsolete because of that emerging technology. So coming to, I don't think a lot of people think about, like, coming to a community college, you are getting experience with that emerging technology. We have our advisory boards here with our centers of excellence that are advising and say, hey, this is where the workforce is shifting. These are the types of employees that we want to come in to our fields, and we're expecting you as an institution of higher learning to prepare them. And so essentially we have really aligned with the goal of building a talent strong Texas. So I appreciate you sharing just how many ways we are really looking at how do we make sure our students are ready to enter the workforce.
Absolutely. We're very proud we create this kind of relationship with companies. I mean, if you come here to Central College, you see that companies in and out on a daily basis. We invite them. They come to us. We go there. We visit them. Advisory board is very active. We meet at least 3 times. We sit down on table. We look them at the eyes. We tell them, look, what do you want us to do? We're not just going to offer the class because it's a class. We want to offer the class. It will fulfill the need of your company. We are working here to make sure that the Houston economy is strong and stays strong. And in order to do that, we have to collaborate with those industries. Industries is a huge part of our COEs. Without industry, we cannot survive. We don't want to teach just theory. We need to make sure that those students, when they leave us here, they go find those, what they call them, it's hard to find jobs, high paid.
Right.
Those kind of jobs are needed in Houston. They can make more sustainable families. They can make the students more, secure to continue, to finish, to move to a university degrees, and so on. So I'm telling you, we are lucky we have all those companies here, and we are very active with them. We invite them, we go there, we create a lot of partnership, we create a lot of relationship. Now, Johnson Control, it is the huge company in the world. We got from them $100,000 scholarship to help minority students. This is a huge, and this is renewable for another 4 years. So it means that we might be able to get up to $500,000 from them.
That is phenomenal, Kris.
Yeah, and
we've had a great conversation. We're running out of time, but I want to make sure that we walk away with our viewers knowing just about specific programs such as construction management, HVAC, building inspection, and interior design. So give us an overview of the programs that you are working with in your centers of excellence and what students can expect.
Absolutely. This COE has 5 different programs, and all those are very critical to Houston. The first one is HVAC, which is dealing with AC. I mean, who in Houston can live without few ACs in their homes and cars and offices? So we deal with this, and we have huge companies here in Houston help us out. Daikin is a Japanese company, just moved to town, 3 years ago. We have great partnership with them, Train and other companies, and so on. So this is the first one. The other one is the electrical technology, which, electricity is the center of the universe. Who can live without electricity? So we deal with whatever take to supply energy and energy management to the building. And part of it also a solar installation. That's part of the electricity. The other one is construction management. This degree is very critical to Houston because it shows the people how to create companies and how to work with companies to manage any construction site, whether it is vertical project or horizontal project. Those guys, they come here to us to become managers, to go on the field and become superintendent or have their own companies and so on. The fourth one is interior design. And interior design, it's very critical to architectural. It's how to make your building more comfortable, more healthy building, and more attractive building. So that's what we deal with interior design. And the last one is the drafting, which is, drafting, you deal with architectural drafting, you deal with mechanical drafting, you deal with process piping drafting, you deal with electrical drafting. All these are required and needed to make sure that we still, function as a civilized nation and treat those companies well in order for them to flourish and make us flourish with them as well.
Yes, absolutely, Kris. Thank you so much for sharing. I hope everyone walks away just knowing the value that program adds and just all of the opportunities. We've been speaking with Kris Asper, who's the Dean of Architectural Design and Construction Center of Excellence here at HCC. If you hear something you like, fall registration is still open. We'll have info posted after the show for more details. Thanks so much for joining us, Kris.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, handing it over to you, Lana.
Yeah, I love Kris's passion. That's great. Well, we are going to be talking to Drayton Dupree, Operations Supervisor for Houston Museum of Natural Science in Sugar Land. Welcome to the show, Drayton. You need to unmute yourself. Well, as we said earlier, people can roll up their sleeves this weekend to to sift through red Permian soil from a nearby dig site during your fossil wash. Can you
Absolutely.
an overview?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Good deal. But yeah, absolutely. We're going to be having our annual fossil wash this Saturday from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. If you've ever wanted to dig for dinosaurs but don't want to take the huge hike out to the middle of nowhere and get really, really sweaty in the desert, this is probably going to be your best chance, as well as actually having access to real paleontologists who will be on site running the actual event. So if you've ever had a chance to talk to a paleontologist, it's really lucky, but this is another great chance for you. If you've ever had a dinosaur question, these are definitely the people to ask.
Great. So what will the diggers actually get to do?
That's a great question. So a lot of people, when you think of digging for dinosaurs, I mean, they're probably imagining uncovering a massive T-Rex or a single gigantic fossil. And while, of course, those are show-stopping fossils and super, super lucky to find, oftentimes, whenever you look at an extinct biome, you're trying to reconnect and put together an entire ecosystem. That involves a lot of small players and a lot of larger players as well. Whenever we find what is a bone bed or an area of high concentration of fossils, there's often thousands of pounds of soil to sift through. We're looking for teeth, shells, vertebra, even bits of dinosaur excrement left over can teach us so much about what's going on. This particular period that we're going to be sifting through is the Permian period, which was the last of the Paleozoic, the period right before the dinosaurs.
Right. And that is at a dig site near Seymour, Texas?
Correct. It is an active dig site we have near Seymour, Texas. We're trying to find Dimetrodon. So that's going to be one of the main things we're looking for.
But the guests won't actually be digging at the site themselves. Is that right?
No, it will be happening here at Sugarland. So we have collected probably about 1,000 pounds of topsoil and we've transported it back here to Sugarland. We'll be washing and processing here. So there's going to be several different activities that you can do. We've got stuff that's great for the little kids. If you want to roll up your sleeves and actually sift through this dirt as well, that's going to be a big part of the actual event. So soil samples are going to come in. The first process is a washing station outside. So do bring clothes that you don't mind getting a little dirty in if you want to help us out. But it'll be basically putting the dirt through several different kinds of washes with various different sizes of strainers so we can get out the big stuff and then, of course, the microfossils as well. As soon as that starts to happen, we're going to be moving inside to piecing things together and identification. So we're going to have a microscope lab open. There's also going to be tons of entertainment for the kids. So there's going to be crafts and games going on as well. It'll be a museum-wide event. But the main attraction will be outside washing that Permian dirt.
So you just mentioned some activities. What else will be going on that day?
In addition to the actual washing, we will also have sorting and identification. So the microfossils under a microscope, that'll be an indoor activity, again, led by a paleontologist. Throughout the rest of the museum, we will have tours for dinosaurs going on. We will be having games and crafts that the kids can make as well. So it's really an event for any age.
Right. So do you need advance tickets or can someone just show up?
Either or. If you would like to purchase tickets online in advance, you're more than welcome to do so. And it's what I would personally recommend. This event is usually quite well attended. So just to make sure you get your spot with the dinosaurs and that there's room, I'd always recommend purchasing tickets online on our website, hmns.org in advance. However, if you just happen to be joining us on Saturday, then definitely you can buy your ticket at the door.
Great. Now, HMNS at Sugarland also has other events this fall. Tell us about one with the hummingbirds next week.
The hummingbirds next week. So that is going to be part of our nature programs that go on Saturday morning. So every Saturday morning, we've got teams coming in that are always going to be talking about life science. Sometimes they're going to be a little bit more intellectual. Sometimes they're going to be a little bit more fun oriented. The hummingbird class will be led by Li Jin, who's going to be doing it this Saturday. You're going to be making a hummingbird feeder and help to attract those pollinators in your very own garden. Get a little bit of science and biology in your own backyard.
Great. Okay, quickly, tell us about your Halloween festival.
Halloween Festival is an extremely well-attended event. The Magical Maze will be going on October 21st, so it's going to be a little bit before Halloween. It's going to be a Saturday morning. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We are going to have face painting. We are going to have games, activities, crafts. We're going to have a costume parade. It's really an event for the entire family. So show up in costume.
Great. Okay. One more thing. November for the holidays. Tell us about that.
November is our biggest annual fundraiser of the entire year. It's going to be our Jingle Tree event, is what we call it. In this event, open up to the public. Basically, we have designers and artisans from all around the local shops and areas who actually decorate pre-decorated Christmas trees on some of the most crazy and creative themes. I've seen a breakfast at Tiffany's tree. I've seen a McDonald's tree that had ornaments from like the 90s, those old Happy Meals. I've seen all kinds of amazing stuff. These are going to be upward display and up on auction from November 10th to the 16th. So it's going to be, like I said, the biggest holiday event of the year. If you want to attend one of our events, in addition to the trees, we also have seriously cool packages that we offer up only at this event. So I know that pretty recently I was able to cash in on one of them. Last year, auctioned off, was a night in the museum for a child's birthday party. They spent the night here. We had flashlight tours. It was incredible. You can have the opportunity to rent the George Observatory for a private event. So there's a lot of cool stuff we auction off. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. And most of these proceeds will be going towards supporting the museum, specifically our accessibility programming. So it's going to be just a seriously fun time. If you have the time, please come out and see us in November.
Yeah, wow, you guys have some great activities going on this fall. And I got to tell you, this dig sounds like a lot of fun. I used to work for archaeologists, and
Really?
I've been out at digs, and it's sweaty, it's hard, but it is fun work. So thank you, Drayton Dupree, Operations Supervisor for HMNS at Sugar Land. We'll have your info in our post after the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
Well, so what did you, was it still in communications that you were supporting the archaeologists, Lana?
I was, it was communications. I was their editor. They'd have to write up all these reports, and I would go through their reports and edit them, and, have these big reports made for their clients. And having, reading through these reports, I got to learn a lot.
Yeah, I say when you have to write about something, you know a little bit about a lot.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, moving on, we're going to close out with our news, events, and announcements. First up, we have our education career fair at HCCTV happened today at our Eastside campus from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is a collaboration between HCC Career Services and the Texas Education Department, and hosting the 2023 Education and Teacher Career. So don't delay. Check the details posted after the show so you can make it out today.
Yeah, and join HCC Southeast Student Life for Mortal Kombat XL video game tournament and compete to win awesome prizes. That's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Friday, September 15th, tomorrow. It's for HCC students only. It's Eastside Campus Student Life Building. And you can check out our post after the show for more info.
I can't resist the urge to say, finish them, Mortal Kombat X. There will be subs and sandwiches with Dunn at 8 with and the associate are continuing their popular subs and sandwiches, and this time it will be hosted by J.E. Dunn. It'll be happening 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. next Wednesday, September 20th. It'll be virtual on X. Be sure to check the details posted after the show.
And join HCC Team Tough Cookie for the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure Breast Cancer Awareness Walk. The first to sign up gets a t-shirt. Contact Ashley Rhodes for more info. And that is Saturday, October 7th. And you can check out our post after the show for Ashley's email.
All right, our faculty exhibition will be focusing on identifying as a third culture kid. Janine Dykes makes artworks reminiscent of toys. This is just one of the many faculty exhibitions across HCC. It'll be live through November 3rd at our HCC Spring Branch campus. Being able to view or access the gallery is free, so get a little bit of culture in your life and check out the exhibition. Details will be posted after the show.
Right. And fall classes are in full swing, but smaller, more intensive semesters are still available, such as Second Start, which begins next week. And all courses are offered in person and online. There's online anytime, no established class meeting times unless listed. Online on a schedule, meeting time is set and course meets online. There's a hybrid, which are lecture classes that meet partially face-to-face and partially virtually. In-person, face-to-face courses with traditional meeting patterns at various campus locations. In hybrid lab, which is laboratory and studio courses. So to learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
All right, coming up, we'll continue our in September as Workforce Development with our Dean of the Transportation Center of Excellence at HCC. And for Film Friday, we'll welcome the folks from Viva Texas Film Festival out of Victoria, Texas, which might surprise you, but they do have some award-winning films slated. Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute. We'll see you next time.